Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. I have Omar Dorsey with me.
What's going on,
Thanks
everybody?
Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So you wanted to talk about, nobody has picked Martin Lawrence yet.
Really?
Yeah. So you want to do Martin Lawrence talking shit.
The crazy thing about it is this. The Martin Lawrence Talking Shit album is a good album.
Yeah.
It is. It's not as groundbreaking as like Bicentennial Nigga.
Sure.
And it's not raw.
Right.
But what it is all the people who came after Martin, we all do Martin.
Right.
And so that's the reason I wanted to pick that album.
Sure. When did you first hear it? When
The first day it came out, probably.
Yeah.
I think I went and bought it at Turtles Record.
Yeah?
I bought the tape, the cassette tape, listened to it because I was already a Def Jam fan, and I was all in, man. That was my album. I listened to it ad nauseum.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wore it out.
I wore it
that's
out.
the hard part with tapes, though, too.
Yeah, it is,
You
exactly.
killed them.
Yeah.
So, what did you know of Martin Lawrence before you heard the album, though?
I knew a lot of it. I was a Def Jam fan, like I said. I
Yeah.
was a fan of House Party. I was a fan of What's Happening Now. I was a fan of what was the one he did with Spike? Do the Right Thing.
Right.
So he was like the quintessential comedian for me. He was the first, in my opinion, hip hop comedian.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you had Eddie, but Eddie was more on some Rick James type,
Sure.
fly, flashy type dude.
Yeah.
It was other comedians at the time who were hip hop type people, but they were doing it so contrived, like yo, what's up? But Martin actually lived it,
Right.
And the way he walked around, his whole swagger, everything about him was hip hop, and it's and he exuded it.
Yeah.
So that's what it was for me, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him this for as much as we might be used to, black people do this, white people do this.
Right.
He did it. It all seems natural. It's all completely natural.
It is, yeah. And he picked on black people. In his black people do this, white people do that. The joke was black people overdo stuff.
Right.
And white people make it very simplistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like the boxing thing. He was like, yo, I want to say what's up to Ray, Sha, Earl, all of that. And then he said all white people say is Tucson, Arizona, coming home.
Yeah.
Like that's how you're supposed to do it. But black people want to take it all the way to the nth degree. So yeah, that was my guy.
How did it specifically influence you as a comedian,
though? The thing is even to this day, from that moment on to this day, I say this: anybody who's black, not anybody, most people who are black and who are actors or comedic actors or comedians, we all do a derivative of Martin Lawrence.
Okay.
If it's what had happened was all of that type of stuff, anything like that, it came from that album. It came from Martin specifically.
Yeah.
So that, and then the characters, the way he was doing Joe Jackson is just classic. But he's messing up Geraldo Rivera's name and kept calling him Alado. It's bullshit, Alado. Like that's just like that's just one of my favorite jokes on the album.
Yeah.
Man. So it's a lot of it. Like it's the characters that he made. The way he talks like this, man. Like I still do that.
Yeah.
I still do it, and I've done it from that moment. Even like on Eastbound Now.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of Martin in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Was it a thing that you got to share with your friends? Were you like, did you ever make friends over comedy?
Over that specific album or just period?
In general, but this album first, I guess.
Well, this album, I mean, I shared this with friends. We were young when this album came. We were in high school. I was driving though, so I had the tape. Okay. So we knew all the jokes. Me and my boy Terry, he's in here right now. We were just listening to it in his apartment right now. And we were saying all the jokes. We were just saying them. We were saying like it's like an NWA album or something. We just knew all the lyrics. And so all of my friends, we all had it. And we knew it all. Even when I ended up going to college, we were still listening to that album and just saying all of the jokes. And like I said, it's not like the most groundbreaking album.
Sure.
But it was a fun album.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though it, like a lot of the album ended up being the You So Crazy movie.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It's still like it still just resonated with me, man. Yeah.
Have you ever had a chance to meet Martin Lawrence?
I haven't. I know everybody over there at Ron-Tell that. Yeah. And I haven't had a chance to meet Martin. I haven't. Not yet. It's coming though, brother. It's coming, Marty. Mart.
So, were you a fan of his more mainstream stuff? I mean, the show, of his TV show?
I was a huge fan of the show. One thing about Martin, for better or for worse, he has dictated black comedy sitcoms specifically.
Right.
Since the advent of the Martin Lawrence show.
Yeah.
Some of it's not good.
Right.
Some of the stuff, I don't want to specifically put anybody out there.
Of course, sure.
But we all know, I think we know a lot of the stuff is just not good.
Right.
But they're all doing Martin.
Right.
You know, so like we were saying, it's just so, it's just very influential. You know, and like I said, man, I use him.
Yeah.
You know, I use him, and I love them. I mean, I love the show a lot. I look at it now and I'm like, man, it's so slapstick.
Sure.
It's so slapstick, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. Like, you know, the relationship between him and Pam grounded the show.
Yeah.
With the crazy character, the Otis and you know, with Shanae and Big Mama and all of that.
Yeah.
That relationship always grounded the show and made it seem, you know, you can look past all the other slapstick stuff.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. I mean, that was going to be my next question. What's the most positive stuff that you get out of that? And I guess that would be,
yes,
you know, because people do tend to look, if they're shooting for one type of demographic when they're making a show, right? And when I say one type of demographic, I mean anything outside of white. They think they have to find. I don't know what people are thinking when they put a show together like that. When they just look at any other show with any other people in it, right? You know, Cosby Show worked because it was just a husband and a wife and a family. You know, that was it, right? And I do wonder how he might look back on that show, and if he ever cringe a little bit.
I don't know if he cringes. I don't.
I mean, he still does some characters like that when he does his films.
Right,
so
right.
You know,
He was young. He was so young, and it's like he was. You can tell he was having fun. You know, I think when the show really, you know, when it jumped the shark was when that relationship between him and I said Pam, I meant to say Gina. Oh, well, right. when him and Gina, you know, I think they were arguing in real life, and so they weren't doing scenes together. Okay, and then you could tell like the energy wasn't there. Now it's just slapstick characters. Okay, that makes sense. And it didn't feel the same. But as an actor, I mean, I appreciate Martin. I mean, he's not Daniel Day-Lewis, but you know, but like the characters that he did, like in the movie Life with Eddie. I thought that character was really good. Yeah. You know, and I really sympathized with him, like, because he was put in prison, you know, for life for something that he didn't do. Right. Something that Eddie did, and now he has to, you know, pay the price for it. Right. So just to even see the bitterness that he had with Eddie, and then they end up becoming friends, like, I saw the work that he was putting in as an actor. So, sure. Yeah.
What do you remember the first comedy album you ever listened to?
It's probably a Red Fox album. Yeah? It probably was. It's something my dad had in the basement that I wasn't supposed to be listening to. And I've never heard so many curse words in my life, and I didn't even know what they were. And then I went upstairs and told one of the jokes to my dad, and he got very upset. I said something about a dick. I didn't know. And he was like, what'd you say? I said something about the dick and a tiger. You know what I'm saying? I think I might have been 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and that really... And I was like, oh, okay, that's one of the words you can't say. But yeah, it had to be either that or a LaWanda Page album. Like my dad had all of those Chitlin Circuit albums, the LaWanda Pages, anybody who was on Sanford and Son. Yeah. All the older people. Right. Mullet and Skillet, I forgot their names. Rudy Ray Moore, Dolomite. And all of those, my dad had all of those albums. Wow. And that's before he got saved and got into the church. Because he probably burned them now.
Right. Was it so were you a fan? Well, I mean, the way you described it, they're kind of hidden away. So it was more like, this is for me and Mom, or is it one of those things? Okay, so did you grow up with much comedy at all?
I grew up with comedy. Yes, I did. Big time, yeah. Okay. The Delirious. Sure. Live at Sunset Strip, a lot of black comedy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I got into high school that I found out I knew who Steve Martin was. I didn't know he was a stand-up comedian. Okay. Yeah. I thought he was an actor. I mean, that's dude from The Jerk. Right. You know, it wasn't until I found out George Carlin or anybody who wasn't black. Yeah. You know, and it wasn't until college, you know, so I listened to a lot of Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner. And of course, those dudes are geniuses because they're great writers. Sure. You know, and Mel Brooks is just such an amazing talent, period. Right. Like that really did a lot for me as a writer, actually. Like, I listened to Carl Reiner because he writes so brilliantly. Yeah. You know, but yeah, I grew up with comedy, man. I did. And I was in high school when Def Comedy Jam started.
Right.
I went to the same high school Chris Tucker went to.
Really?
So everybody in high school was so excited when Chris was going to be on Def Comedy Jam. And listening to Chris, and then ultimately listening to Bernie Mac and his stories, just amazing, man. I mean, he moves past just the regular stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
He tells you funny stories about his life. And those are the things that you really get into. That's why he became so big. Out of all the Def Comedy guys, maybe outside of Martin, I think that Bernie was the best. I think, but it's because, his storytelling, and it's the way that he personalized it. And it wasn't just a bunch of curse words put together.
Right. And it made his show so brilliant, too. I loved his show.
I think his show was one of the best shows, one of the best sitcoms over the last 20 years. I really do. And I was heartbroken when he passed away. Oh, God. Yeah, I was really heartbroken. Because it's like, that's, again, one of those things you talk about. We talk about the Cosby Show. Yeah. And what makes it different than a show like a Martin show. Because it's like, you can see, okay, this is about a family. It's actually about a guy who's taking care of 3 kids that aren't his, but they are his.
Right.
And that's what Bernie did, man. I love that dude, man.
Yeah. And you mentioned being able to watch Live in the Sunset Strip. Was that your parents just wait till you got older to let you watch that? Or?
It's when my parents go to sleep.
Okay.
I look on like the guide, or TV Guide back then. Look on TV Guide. Cinemax showing Live on Sunset Strip. Let me go ahead and catch that right quick. Oh, and man, and once you watch like Richard Pryor, it puts everything else in perspective.
Oh, it does.
It does. You're like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it. Oh, I didn't know that. Right. So it's like the first time I saw Live at Sunset Strip, and then when I saw it, I think I was old enough to have a Blockbuster car at the time. So then I was driving, and so I just started, and I had a VCR in my room. So I my room or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got Live at Sunset Strip. I got all of them, and then when I got a little bit of money, that's when I started buying the CDs. Like I said, Bicentennial Nigga, to me, so brilliant.
Yeah.
And what I don't know if you listen to Bicentennial
just
Nigga?
once. I don't own it. That's the one problem.
See, he has a monologue at the end where he plays the Bicentennial Nigga.
Right.
Like, oh Lord, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah. But he gets angrier and angrier and angrier by the end. And I think I did that at an audition one time. Really? For a play. Oh my God. I didn't get the role. And they were looking at me like, you got Malcolm X over here. Like, I don't know if you can do 12 Angry Men. You know what I'm saying? So, no. Yeah, so when I got in there on Richard, man, that it put everything, like I said, in perspective. It's like, man, this is the brilliance of how you do stand-up. Right. And you just he's so self-deprecating. It's like, man, he could just pick on himself. Yeah. He went, like, is a bit that he had. He lit a match. He said, "What's this?" The Richard Pryor running down the street. Now that's just a great joke. It's like, man, this is right after he got burned up with 5th-degree burns all over it. You're like, man, good God.
And that's a guy who got to evolve comedically with the civil rights movement.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He like that progression that you're talking about at the end of that bit is kind of natural.
It is.
And I mean, you hear stories. Actually, you're talking about my picture of Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder talks about his experience doing Stir Crazy with Richard, and like all the movies up until then were okay, but that movie, combination of drugs, but also just the guy just had it. He had just had it, so anything would push his buttons. So just a fascinating guy. But then now we're talking about somebody like Martin Lawrence, who got to sort of benefit from a guy,
of course,
you know what I mean, who got to say all the stuff that was coming from his heart, and he gets to sort of, I don't know what I'm saying, but polish his material in a different way.
Exactly.
At a time where maybe it wasn't okay for him to be angry.
Right.
I don't know. Eddie Murphy could be angry. Right. And he talks about Eddie on the album. But I don't know. He was just a different voice, I feel like.
Who, Martin. Yeah, he was. I was talking, I think, man, one thing, I did a movie last year I did Django Unchained last year. Yes. And I was, and Fox and I were talking, and we were talking about comedians. And he was like, he said, he said, Cat Williams is a rock star, but the wrong way. Sure. He said the last rock star black comedian was Martin Lawrence. Said the women just went crazy over him. Right. And you just look at Martin, you're like, okay looking guy, but no, it's like it's like Axl Rose. Axl Rose looks all right, but it's what exudes outside out of him. It's like, oh man, this dude is like, it's is when you got that glow. You know what I'm saying? He has the glow like Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon.
Right.
And you just like, man, this dude, is something about him, man.
Yeah.
And I think he's the last black comedian. He might be the last comedian I know who just had that rock star persona like that, man.
Right.
And he did benefit, but Richard was really rock star.
Sure.
Like the wrong way though. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
The same way with Cat. But one thing about Richard, man, it's like that dude he's just so talented. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Lady Sings the Blues and you see the character that he created, Piano Man, you're like, man, this is coming out of you. And I know a lot of it is like, was it drugs or whatever?
Sure.
And it's also a lot of him looking within himself and his
Definitely.
insecurities, which is what makes a really good actor.
Yeah.
Understanding your own insecurities.
Sure.
Man, the dude was just so brilliant. Richard does upset me a little bit though sometimes, man, because he was so good. He didn't give himself a chance, I don't think.
Right. No, he was definitely wasted. There's I don't mean it in the drugs way. I mean, he was wasted as an actor.
As a talent, period.
Yeah.
It's like he could have been. I mean, he's already in the pantheon of one of the of Mount Rushmore of comedians, maybe number one.
Sure,
but it's like, man, he could have just crossed over and just been like great talents, like Sammy Davis Jr. or something.
For sure,
that kind of crossing over, and people will love him. But just and I get mad at him because I'm like, you could have did this for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, but man, it's just what happens when drugs.
I mean, he was supposed to be Black Bart in Blazing Saddles. That would have
exploded. Man, but like the studio didn't want to sign off on it.
No, they let him write it.
Yeah, they let him write it, but it was like, we're gonna go ahead and bring in Cleavon Little right quick,
right?
Because he's safe.
You're right.
Exactly. It's like this guy's been in San Francisco telling these wild, crazy jokes, and we hearing all these stories about what he's doing. He's gonna come down here to L.A. Now we're not gonna mess up however many $1 million on this budget. You know.
And even Martin has had his own troubles.
Of course,
but
he has.
Seems to have recovered fine. I mean,
he has.
I guess he lucked out.
Yeah,
you get to learn from
your predecessors, man. He didn't want to go down that. I mean, I'm guessing, and you just don't never know what's going on in a person's life either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but he never had it like Richard had it that bad.
Right.
Right. Yeah. He was running down the streets in a garbage bag. I know that much. Isn't that what Martin did?
Yes,
and he fell out trying to lose that weight.
Yeah,
for
I
Bad Boys too.
believe he had a gun in his hand at that point too. I'm trying to remember, he's running down the freeway.
From Maryland, what you expect? He's from Baltimore, man. He gonna have that gun in his hand. What he gonna do? Haven't you seen The Wire? You always gotta have a gun. You're from Maryland.
And that was my next question. Was, do you remember? Was there ever like a piece or like an album or a bit or a comedian you listened to as a kid that sort of made you realize you wanted to be funny, or was that just a thing that was always in you?
It was Bill. It was Bill Cosby himself.
Oh, so good.
It was, and it was when he said it was the joke. Well, he always thought his name was Jesus Christ, and his brother thought his name was Damn It. I think that's what it was, and I was like, this is hilarious. Just what, that album and the movie period. Was just so good because here's a man who's just sitting down telling jokes.
Yeah.
He's not moving around in any kind of frenetic pace or anything. He's just sitting still telling these great jokes like an old man in a rocking chair.
Right.
Right. And that really, I said, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah.
This was before the Cosby Show came out. This was like right after, in my opinion, it was like right after Fat Albert. It might have been way after Fat Albert,
sure,
but I was a kid and I used to watch Fat Albert, and this is the dude who does Fat Albert.
Yeah,
and now he's being funny in a suit,
right,
telling jokes. And I was like, this is who I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah,
I still want to be Bill Cosby when I grow up.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah, it's like, they said he's still doing 300 days a year.
That's insane.
That is insane. The dude's like 75 or something.
That's
and they say he's still killing it every night too.
So weird.
Yeah, I had a friend who did. Well, my friend John Reap. He's like, man, I just saw Bill at like in I think Orange County or something. Said, man, he murdered it.
That's so good.
Yeah, like so.
I just don't understand how you stay relevant.
I don't get
it.
Man.
I don't get it. I mean, it just although again, he's got a style where telling stories is not going to die as long as they're real.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas jokey comedians, they've got. You have to adapt. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and there's a shelf life for joke comedians. It's like when you can bring anything to like. Now this happens to you too, right? Mm-hmm. Like when I'm with the kids and this, everybody like, oh, I know that. Yeah, of course, when you with the kids, right?
Yeah,
right.
Or you could be one of the kids and you're like, yeah, that happens to me. Like the same way when I was watching Bill Cosby himself, I was like, I am the kid that he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you what was the first thing you ever performed in? And was it comedic?
First thing I ever performed in, I don't know, man. I've been doing it for so long. My mom was a director.
Okay.
Was a theater director. So I think the first thing I ever performed in was a talent show. And I did the 23rd Psalms. Uh-huh. Because we learned that in like pre-K, and I did it on stage. I came in second place.
That's awesome.
With like a whole bunch of like other kids, older kids, and I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old, and I got bit with the bug at that moment.
I bet.
Yeah, I was like, I want this all the time.
Did you ever, well, you told the story earlier, but did you ever have a thing where I hear a lot of people tell stories about either Bill Cosby or Richard Pryor telling one of those jokes in a really like inappropriate public situation where it's Bill Cosby's fine, but Richard Pryor specifically.
Right.
You told the Red Fox thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anything like that, but like publicly? Like I know some guys who would do these bits like out loud. They're like, I have to do a talent show. My white friends would do these like Richard Pryor bits not knowing this was inappropriate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well,
the thing about it is that anytime I do a Richard Pryor joke, I'll always be in the company of people who want to hear some Richard Pryor jokes.
For sure.
You know, so it was, I don't think, and the older you got, the more you're like, okay, I can't do this around this company.
Right.
But like all my friends, we were all inappropriate back in the 80s.
Sure.
I don't know what the hell. We were cursing. We were in 5th grade, cursing up a storm. We didn't know any better, but we knew we couldn't. I think I had been at somebody's house before at a sleepover, and we were doing Eddie Murphy jokes, and their mom was upstairs.
Oh God!
Let me talk to you right quick, Omar. Let me come in. Now, what's your mama's phone number? You stuff like that. You're like, oh man, Miss Rucker, I ain't mean to say. I'm just playing around, Miss Rucker. No, come over here. I'll talk to your mama right quick. What y'all listen to over there? Don't y'all go to my church? You know.
So I'm not up to date on Martin Lawrence. What's the last thing you heard him do?
I know Martin is doing a show right now with Kelsey Grammer. It should be pretty good. It's about lawyers from 2 different sides.
That's insane to me.
And it's like, it's going, I know I think it's a great deal. It's a 1090 deal at FX. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to do 10 of them, and if it's good, they're going to go ahead and do 90 of them.
Wow.
So I'm glad that he's doing that right now.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times what I've been noticing is like comedians, even Eddie does this too, man. They I don't want to say they go for the money grab, they go for the kid audience. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when he was doing the college road trip, where he's doing a Big Mama's house, and that's fine.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because his company's producing it.
Yeah.
But me selfishly, I want to see Martin do some ignorant shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to see Eddie Murphy do something that's like really, off the wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I hope that this is an FX show, so I know it won't be super crazy.
Sure.
But I think,
closer.
It'd be closer.
Yeah.
You know? I want to see that brother get back on stage too, man. I mean, it's a selfish thing, but I would love it.
That's all right. There are a lot of people who'd like to see the same thing with Eddie. Every time we talk about an Eddie Murphy album, I just get pissed that I don't get to see him do stand-up.
I know, man. You always hear rumors. Eddie says he's going to go back on the road.
Well,
what he said, who did he say he was? He said, I'm Charlie Chaplin now, man. I'm Charlie. He said, I'm one of the legends, so I ain't got to do that no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah. What are you going to do? Let's see. Do you have a favorite comedy album of all time? And if this is it,
it's really not my. I mean, this is the one I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
I mean, his Bicentennial Nigga is probably my favorite. And this was like 1976. Richard Pryor, when he was political.
Sure.
When he was a little bit, he was clear, not as clear as he should have been, but he wasn't as cloudy as he was probably in 78 or 80.
Yeah.
That album was, and a lot of Sunset Strip was really good too.
Yeah.
But Bicentennial Nigga is him being angry.
Right.
And like I said, it's that monologue at the end, and it's a lot of the jokes that he tells. I think that's the one that he does. The what's the Kubrick movie? Hal. Hal. 2001: Space Odyssey.
Jesus, yes.
Yeah, he does. I think Bicentennial Nigga is, maybe it's not. I thought it was the one that he does the Hal joke. That's really good. Or just being in like first time he ever took acid.
I
think that's the one.
Okay.
And it's just this great bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so quiet in the audience. We're all just listening.
Right.
And then by the time it's over, it's just a loud applause. And it's like, man, because it's not even, at that point, it's not even comedy. It's performance theater.
Right, yeah. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, that's what it is. And and a lot of stuff that Richard did was performance theater. All the characters, I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. Like, these are performance pieces as opposed to jokes.
Right.
You know, and another one that he did on Bicentennial Nigga was the preacher who was asking for money and said he don't want no more handicapped kids in the church because they draw too much attention. It's just crazy shit like that. You just like, man, this dude is on another level, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun.
And I don't even know who else was writing. I think Mooney was writing for him there.
Oh, yeah.
And John Witherspoon. Sure. Like, man, these guys, like, they were just writing this brilliant stuff, man.
Yeah.
And he was performing it. Like I said, he's a performance artist, man.
It's not the kind of stand-up you see much anymore because, you know, if you're just a working comedian,
right,
it's not, you don't have really the you don't get the opportunity to put your show up. I mean, first of all, there aren't really concert comedians anymore. You know what I mean? You don't get to put on a show in front of thousands as much as,
right.
You know, but most working comedians like just go town to town and they don't really get to write these huge bits, these experimental pieces.
Right. And another thing is that we live in a microwave generation. They want to hit the joke.
For sure.
Bam, hit it now. Get the people laughing the first 10 seconds because they're not going to have them. And then another, you know, but it's like especially when you're Richard at that point, man, he was God.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the patience. You have the crowd has the patience to sit and listen to it, see what brilliance is going to drip off your lips.
Right.
And then it's like, it was all worth it for that 5-minute bit that you did this crazy thing. And the joke was hit so well, you know, like that's like the worst thing. It's not even bad. That's the difference between then and now. We live in a microwave society as it is anyway.
Right.
You know?
Is it, as an actor, do you sort of suffer from the same thing when you're auditioning where they want it like that or no?
If you come in with a clear choice, it doesn't matter. You know, you come in with a clear choice, man, like I don't even have to worry about, let me hit them in the head real hard. And then also it comes from the fact that like in the industry, the people know who I am. They're like, oh, I've seen Blindside, I've seen Django. Let me see what this guy's going to bring.
Sure.
Oh, it's something different. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then just like Bicentennial Nigga, at the end of it, you'll be like, I get it now.
Right.
You know, it works sometimes it doesn't, but at least I've made a choice.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Do you have a preference as far as, it sounds like you prefer maybe storytelling comedy again over joke comedy, but you know, I'm sorry to keep straying off of Martin Lawrence,
no,
but
you know,
he's more joke stuff.
Right.
I mean, he's got a couple great stories, you know,
and that's what I like
being on a road trip.
Yeah, the road trip, even the meeting Michael Jackson,
oh God,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh God,
like that
whole bit,
and the funniest bit on the album to me was the one when the guy was heckling him, and he just came and destroyed him. Like I've seen comedians destroy people.
Sure,
he destroyed them, and then he said, and that's going to be on the album.
Yes.
So now you and your mama are both going to be in national news. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, but no, I like it when he does tell the stories. I mean, and I like storytelling comedians. It's like I do, because it's like I can. Okay, yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as an actor, I suppose it would be more
exactly
up your alley.
Exactly. As a writer too, it's man, I want to hear the story. You know, instead of just being like, bitches be shopping, right? Bitches be shopping. In case I want, I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. And that's one thing too. Is while I do host a comedy podcast, I don't get out to see a whole lot of stand-up, so I am kind of curious what you just said is the 90s. You just put the 90s. Bitches be shopping is the 90s. I do want to know what it is now, and I don't really know what it is. You know what I mean?
Go to comedy clubs, man.
Yeah.
I went to a comedy club on Saturday. I'll probably go to one tonight. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. But you got 15 minutes. I mean, I go to open. I mean, I don't know open mics more. I went to the Comedy Store, and you got 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Last time I've seen a comedy concert up close, not like, seeing Russell Brand or something on TV.
Sure.
But like, I think last time I went to a comedy show, it might have been the original Kings of Comedy, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only person I remember was Bernie Mac.
Right.
So, and he tells stories, not jokes.
Yeah. Amazing stories. Yeah. Let me just make sure I don't want to. Okay, good. We're doing good. Let's see. I'm trying to think because I will make sure and cut clips in and out, like from the album as well. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause it for trying to prep you. So if you're going to recommend this album to people, and sometimes people don't. We did Dice by Andrew Dice Clay, and the guy's like, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Right. But if you're going to recommend this to people who haven't heard Martin Lawrence before, don't know him except for his movies, you know what I mean? How would you condense why this would be a good album to listen to?
I don't know if it's a good album to listen to. What I would say is this. I mean, I listen to it a lot, recommending it. I would recommend it. Yeah. It's the album that every comedian, black comedian, who came up in the Def Jam era tried to emulate. Yeah. You know, that's what everybody. I mean, maybe not Chappelle so much, right? Because he tells a lot of stories. Definitely. Also. But the Cat Williams, maybe not Cedric, but maybe Cedric a little bit. The Chris Tuckers, not Chris Rock, but it's an interesting story. I'll share it later about what Chris Rock said about Martin Lawrence during that time. If you want to hear, like, where did all of this crazy black folks do this, white folks do that stuff come from, it's the original. Sure. It's the original, so you can hear it in a more nuanced way. Sure. And like, white people can't dance, but black people can. It ain't just, it's not that. Right. You know, you can hear the way that, the interesting way that it should be stated. Sure. So if I was going to tell anybody, I'm like, this is the album of the Def Jam comedian, for better or for worse. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Do you, when you look at it, is it easy for you to see the stuff that's the weaker stuff? Not that we want to necessarily call it out for all of its, anything that's wrong with it, but is there like weaker stuff that maybe that's been in comedy too long since then? You think stuff that's stuck around too much? Yeah, I mean, the whole album is like that. I mean, a lot of it is. It's like, man. Dang, I mean, because everybody just took from it. Sure. And it's like, man, dude, I know Chuck D's great, but do you have to steal all his lyrics? You know what I'm saying? Right, it's like, I know Beethoven is really good, but dang, do you have to do every symphony that he did and do it your way? Yeah. Is that type of thing. But I don't know if it stuck around. I mean, like you said, it's something that should be in a capsule. Yeah. It's like, this is the 90s. This is the hip-hop, when hip-hop was right before it exploded. Yeah. This is when it was hot. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it's like, it's one of those things. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you could feel the energy, you could feel the freshness, you could feel the rawness of it. Definitely. Before Def Comedy Jam got a hold of it and did whatever they're going to do with it. Right. Right. Yeah. On your point earlier, we were talking about how, everybody's going crazy over him, including the women. Yeah. But the guy can make a joke can go on and on about how tiny his penis is. Exactly. And they love it. Exactly. They love it, and they're still hooting and hollering and loving it. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. Like, ooh, yeah. He's like, I got a small. He said, yeah, I shrivel up. So, yeah. Right. That's an entertainer. That is that undefinable, whatever the fuck it is. Yes, exactly. He gets on stage, he's magnetic, people don't care. That's exactly what it is. And I hate the word the X factor. I hate that, but it's something that is impossible unless you're in that room. Yeah. Right. And that's what kind of carries people to be able to just say what they want and do their bits. It was undeniable, man. Mm-hmm. It was, and it's just something that came from him. And I didn't even know that he was going to be that when I was watching House Party, or I was watching Do the Right Thing. I was like, oh, he's a funny guy. Yeah. And the first time I saw him, it might have been like 91 or 92. Mm-hmm. I saw him on a half-hour special on HBO. And I was like, oh, my God, this is the dude from House Party with the bad breath? I was like, man, this dude is great. He's better than Eddie. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And then I watched it the other day with my wife. And I said, babe, watch this. I've never seen this before. She was like, oh, my God. I said, that's the Martin I know. Right. I said, that's the Martin that I know. I said, this dude, it was just, like you said, he got on stage. Was up there, he was like, dang, it's Barry White up there doing jokes. You think women screaming like that? You know what I'm saying? That dude was so good, man. He's magnetic, man. What was the Chris Rock story you were going to tell me? Chris Rock was saying that when he was on Saturday Night Live or whatever, he said that he was touring, and his opening act was Martin Lawrence. Sure. Yeah, he didn't know. He's like, oh, Martin's my boy. Okay, whatever. He said Martin was murdering it so bad that like the whole house would be torn down by the time he comes on stage. he was like, yo, I got to change my shit up, man. This is what it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like how Def Jam comedians now hunch the chairs or whatever. But he's like, he was just so quick and just so good.
Yeah.
He's like, he made me into a better comedian because I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's how it's done. Because, Chris Rock was, like, in those Saturday Night Live days, he was going through something. Like, I don't think he really knew who he was.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, so when he saw Martin, he was like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You bring down the house like that, not just doing, observational humor.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, that he would have it so early. And when you do look at Chris Rock when he was on SNL or when he was on In Living Color, he was just trying something that was not working at all.
Right.
And then I just remember flipping forward 5 or 6 years to when he did Bigger and Blacker, and I was like, holy fuck.
I had a whole, when this might have been like, 95 maybe, when Bigger and Blacker came out, right? It was 97? 96.
Okay, shit.
Yeah, it was Bring the Pain. Which was the first one?
Shit, I can't remember.
Bring the Pain. It was the first one. When I watched it, I was like, man, whatever, dude. This dude from Saturday Night Live, man. I don't even want to watch it. I was at my girlfriend's house at the time. I was like, all right, let's watch it. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This ain't CB4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, this is good.
Yeah.
I said, this dude is brilliant, man. So that's like, I think like he was on the road with Martin at the time or something. He was like, oh, you said this is 95, 96. Like, Talking Shit came out in 95 and he probably recorded in 94. So he's probably been like, yo, I see how it's supposed to be done.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He did say this, too.
Sure.
So, yeah, like, yo, that's like, you can even see the change in his stand-up. Even you see Chris Rock back in the days when he had the Jerry curl doing stand-up on Catch a Rising Star or whatever. Like, that's a totally different dude. He came out with swag, too. He came out fresh, too. I was like, oh, man, got his teeth fixed and everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nice haircut, nice suit. I'm like, all right, bro, you saying Nate X no more. You know what I'm saying? No, he was killing it, man. But yeah, he did say that, man. He said that, I heard him say that about 3 or 4 months ago. He was like, yo, that tour changed everything.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it too, because they're not really similar comedians at all. I don't look at them as remotely similar, but that he's just still got this energy off of him. That's, oh shit.
I think what it is just like you see the way that Martin controlled the crowd. He moved the crowd like a rapper.
That's true.
Like an MC, he moved the crowd.
Yeah.
And I think he saw that. He's like, oh, that's how you're supposed to. That's how all the great ones do it, man.
Right. Yeah.
They control however the energy is. They set the tone for that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem.
This has been a lot of fun, and I would absolutely love to have you come back whenever the hell you want.
We'll talk about Bicentennial, nigga, man. I got a whole dissertation about that.
That'd be great. That'd be fun.
For sure.
So Eastbound and Down?
Eastbound and Down. Every Sunday night at 10 o'clock, baby. We only got 4 more episodes left, so come on and join us, man. We wilding out on there. Dante, no. Yeah, man. And then in the beginning of the year, catch me on Rake on Fox with Greg Kinnear.
Nice.
It's really, really, really good show. It's a dramedy. Very fun, man.
Twitter, anything? Where can I find you online?
You find me at Omar Dorsey on Twitter. You can find me at Mr. Dorsey on Instagram. And you can find me on It Is What It Is podcast with my boy Terry Jingles. And we wilding out on that thing, man.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
This has been a lot of fun. Everybody, thank you for listening. And as always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klamm. Visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, rate us highly, and write your reviews. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Comedy on Vinyl and Twitter @Comedy on Vinyl.
She painted on the spot. She found a pair of overalls at the bottom of the pot. Him Nolan, he got ripping mad. His eyes were bulging out. He jumped upon the piano and loudly he did shout. Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder? Nobody spoke, so he shouted all the louder.